And now, let's go to Hebrews. Hebrews, and we'll start at chapter 10. That text was read at the beginning for a reason. Amazing what that text said. And if you were listening carefully, what that text said was that by faith, God works miracles for you. And by faith, you are cut down, beheaded, and sawn in two, with no miracle bailing you out. Right in the middle of verse 35 of Hebrews 11, you shift from the miracles happening by faith to the suffering happening by faith. Because faith is being satisfied with all that God is for us in Jesus and being assured that's the way it's going to be in the future as His promises come true for me. And by that faith, we sometimes experience miracles like healing, and we sometimes endure suffering for His sake. That's what that text was about. Now, let's just glimpse in the last 5 minutes or so that we have chapter 10 and one or two others. Chapter 10, verse 32. Recall the former days when after you were enlightened, saved, you endured a hard struggle with suffering. So there it is again. You get saved and things go worse. Yes, they do. I have no promise to any of you that things will go materially or relationally better for you if you follow Jesus. They might go, probably will go, worse in many regards. So no invitation here to an easy life, just a powerfully significant one. Sometimes being publicly exposed to reproach and affliction, and sometimes being partners with those so treated. So some were arrested and put in jail, and others associated with them at great risk. Verse 34, for you had compassion on those in prison. This is very costly. Look what happens. You had compassion. Now that's love in action. Where'd it come from? You joyfully, this is utterly unheard of, you joyfully accepted the plundering of your property. So they said, now some of our comrades are in jail because of their faith. We're believers. If we go visit them, they will know we're believers and something bad's going to happen to us and our families. Shall we go? Shall we just disappear? No, we won't. We'll go. And what happens? Their house gets trashed or something. It's called the plundering of your property. And what did they do as they were walking to the jail in love, looking over their shoulder at their trashed house? They sang, or it says, they joyfully accepted the plundering of their property. I'll tell you, 2012, that's what I want to be. That is so utterly different from every other person on the planet who's not satisfied with God. So the question is, how did they become like that? How might you, in the next 5 minutes, have such a touch from God that you would be that kind of human being who says, I'm going to the jail to visit my fellow Christians. I don't care if they trash my house. In fact, if I see them trashing my house, I'm going to sing with Martin Luther, let goods and kindred go. This mortal life also, the body they may kill. God's truth abideth still. His kingdom is forever. I'm going to the jail because I love my friends. That's the kind of being you want to be. Where did that come from? It's real clear where it came from. We just haven't read it yet. So let's read it. Verse 34, you joyfully accepted the plundering of your property since you knew that you yourselves had a better possession and an abiding one. You joyfully accepted persecution and the trashing of your stuff because you knew my treasure, my inheritance, my God, my Christ, is better and abiding. Does that remind you of something? Like Psalm 16:11. In your presence is fullness of joy. It can't get better. And pleasures forever. It can't get longer. And here it says, because you knew you had a better possession and an abiding one. Love comes from being satisfied in all that God promises to be for you in Jesus. And I'll tell you, all the voices of advertising on the web and on television are telling you the opposite. Satisfaction is now and here in stuff you can have. And I promise you, at age 66, having walked with the Lord a long time, having stuff is not the source of joy. Knowing Him, being satisfied in Him is. And that joy, when it's full, overflows to meet the needs of others and makes you a loving person.